Is why I write. This is why I write. Welcome, 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 welcome if you are just joining us.
This
It
is
is
why
so
I
good.
write. This is why I
It
write.
is so good to see all of you today. I know I'm seeing you metaphysically. I know your energies are here with us. Welcome. How are you doing today? I hope that you are having a great Monday. And it is such my pleasure once more to welcome you to another in the series Why I Write. My name is Tonklin Oliver, and I will be your host for tonight's presentation, of course. And we shall have another very exciting discussion. I really, really enjoy having these conversations with our guests because I find that I learn so much. Can you imagine? I learn so very much, and it is a pleasure to always hear another story of another creative just expressing himself or herself. So what I'm just trying to do right here and right now for myself is to make sure that we have um, the video going right and going out to everybody and sharing as much as we can to our different platforms so everyone can tune in and watch the series because you can always watch it afterwards, but when you're here together with us, what happens is that we get to feel your energy. We get to hear your questions as they occur. Once you have any questions to share with us, we would definitely like to share that. So, welcome. Share this link if you are tuning in right now. We appreciate it so much. And I'm just doing that while I'm here talking and leading. Now, the guest that we have this evening, but before I tell you about the guest and this brand new book that you have to absolutely get for the young kids in your lives, yes, you got to get this book. It's available on Amazon. But before I even tell you about that, let me tell you first of all about our upcoming book festival, online book festival that's coming up in November. So if you know of an author, any new author, or any author who has been around for a minute and they would like to have the exposure of their book, their work, then do not hesitate to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us here on YouTube because we are going to be inviting authors to participate in this book fair, book festival, so that they are able to get the exposure that they need. So definitely follow us for that. So Why I Write will be holding an international book fair coming up in November. So stay tuned and watch out for that. And I certainly will be sending you an invitation. You will see the invitation as we put it across social media so that you can tell one and all to make sure that they attend this International Why I Write Book Fair. So let me just again just drop this note here on our Facebook page is so that we can have all of our folks and fans follow us and be with us right now. So this evening, we have another esteemed guest as we speak about her book, her new book. She is a lawyer of many, many, many years running. She's going to tell us how long she's been in the law business, and she's been in the business of creativity and writing, not only from the perspective of being a lawyer, currently specializing in immigration law, but she has been a stellar professional both in Jamaica and Canada. So this is another international guest that we have. And we welcome her this evening to Why I Write, as she tells us about the various roles that she has found herself playing over the years and how it brought her to write Tell Me a Story, Grandma. Put your hands together and welcome here to our Why I Write stage, Deirdre S. Powell. Welcome, Deidre, how you
Thank,
doing tonight?
thank you. Thank you for having me, Tatlin.
It is my pleasure. As we say in Jamaica, this long time girl, me never see you. Come at me
I
home.
know. Good to see you, Tatlin, and thanks for the invitation.
Listen, it is my pleasure. I get so excited when people I know from long time in
Mhm.
a different arena come into this arena of book authoring and book publishing. Congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
book. Tell
Thank
me a
you.
story, grandma. You are a grandma girl. You don't look more
I
than 38.
am. Oh Lord, thank you for the compliment. But yes, I am a grandma. My grandson is Aiden, and you know my daughter Brittany.
Yes.
And so now I have a grandson, and oh, he's the joy of my life. He's my inspiration.
That is wonderful. Congratulations to you
Thank you.
and your entire family for it's always great to have a babe in the house. They smell so great.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's the time when we're not having to run behind them as they dart through the gate, eh? You know,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
we get to do all the cooing and the loving on them. So that's absolutely amazing. Deidre, I know you for a long time
I
from what we
know.
kill Philip.
True, true. It has been, wow. When I just started practicing law, so that's Totlin, that is more than 25 years.
Wow. Wow.
That's 25 years.
That is amazing. And I met you when you were a mother. You were
Yes.
already a mom when I met you. And I was
Mhm.
so impressed with you because I'm like, this young lady, she's a whole mom and a lawyer. I don't know if, because I didn't have my child yet, I didn't have my son yet. And
Mhm.
I was just so impressed. And I remember how very goal oriented you were, how
Yes.
very driven, very
Mhm.
ladylike,
Mhm.
very focused. I remember these qualities about you so well. And, it has always created an impression. And we have been friends on and off during the years. It's like we pick up from the last time we
Right.
talked.
As if no time had passed.
Past.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just one of those things. And
Mhm.
did you ever think, Deirdre, that one day in the future, back then when we were talking, if that we both would end up in North America?
Never thought of it. Never thought of it. I loved to travel, which I started doing from very young. But I never thought I would live here because I came to Canada at age 18 from high school. I came here on a student exchange program.
Aha.
That's how I was introduced to Canada. And after spending a year here, I had had enough. And so I I went back to Jamaica. I had the opportunity to do university here in Canada,
Mhm.
but I did not do university in Canada. I went back to Jamaica because Jamaica was my home
Yes.
and is my home still,
Yes.
my other home. So I returned to Jamaica
Mhm.
to do university there.
Mm.
So I never thought that at this point in my life that I would be anywhere but Jamaica. So
Correct.
yeah.
But this is the interesting thing about life's journey and how it kind of helps us prepare for entering the world of even authoring our own books.
Mhm,
Because when we were younger, 25, 30, 40 years ago, we are not thinking that, you know what, this is what we want to do one day.
mhm,
Because the beautiful thing about being Jamaican and
mhm,
growing up in an island such as ours during the time that we did,
mhm.
we literally could get to do anything that we wanted to do.
Yes.
Going to university,
Mhm,
being an actress, becoming a lawyer, becoming an accountant, becoming a
mhm.
scientist, a doctor, an airline pilot. It didn't matter where you were from either. But
Right.
once you had a dream in your heart, then you could just follow it blissfully
Yes.
and get it done.
Yes.
So I think that probably prepared us to live in other parts of the world, you
Exactly.
know?
It makes us more flexible and adaptable.
Yes,
Yes.
when the time comes. So let us start at the very beginning. Who is Deidre
Mhm.
Powell? I mean, Who are you? Where were you born? Who are your parents? What was growing up like for you in
Oh,
Jamaica?
I grew up in St. Elizabeth. Actually, I'm from Santa Cruz,
Mm-hmm.
St. Elizabeth, and I grew up there and I attended Hampton, of course, Hampton Girls School.
Hampton girls, hello, good night to all the Hampton girls watching. Yes.
Yes, yes, I hope they were able to tune in. Yes. And I did both up to fifth form, and then I did sixth form. Then
Mm,
I came to Canada for a year on a student exchange program. And then I returned to Jamaica and did my university.
mhm,
And after doing university there, I went on to do, I completed my bachelor's of science in international relations, in fact.
okay.
So growing up, people would say to me, you look and sound like you could be a lawyer. You should be a lawyer.
Mhm,
And initially, I wanted to be a lawyer until I came to Canada. I came to Canada and met so many diplomats and so many people who were involved in international relations and the United Nations. And so I was intrigued by that.
mhm,
So I studied international relations
mhm.
and then went on. I got a job at Ministry of Foreign Affairs when I left university.
Okay.
Totlin, my rent at the time in Kingston was $10,000 a month for, those half side of a house
Mm-hmm.
thing. The little flat behind the garage,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
that was $10,000 per month.
Mm-hmm.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs offered me $8,000 a month.
Oh
So
my
from
God. And what year was this? What year was this?
this was 1994. 1994, 1993,
Wow.
1994. And that just did not make any sense.
Mm-mm.
I got a job with United General Insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and they offered me close to $30,000 a
Mm-hmm.
month.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a diplomat. This was the career that I wanted. That's what I had in mind. But the
Right.
reality is I needed to eat.
Yeah, it didn't
I
matter.
needed,
The
I
maths was
couldn't,
mathsing.
it wasn't matching.
The maths was mathsing.
No. So I took the job with United General Insurance and everything came full circle.
Circle.
So while working at UGI, I was interacting with lawyers because I was doing claims settlement and all of that. So
Mm.
dealing with insurance and claims, I'm like, maybe I should do law.
Yes.
So,
Stay.
Totlin, I started doing law. At the same year I had my daughter, I started doing law.
Mm-hmm.
I did law and I worked full time. That didn't happen then. I am doing law full time and I'm working full time. Don't ask me how it still doesn't make sense to me right now how I did it.
Right. Nothing
But
beats the power of a made-up mind.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. So I did law,
Uh-huh.
took care of my daughter, and
Mm.
I worked full time
Right.
until I went to Barbados. But even when I went to Barbados, every holiday I came back, I worked at UGI.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I worked on
Did
law
you
and
also
I
take
worked.
Brittany with you to Barbados when you went?
Oh, Kathleen, that is also another story to write.
Oh my goodness.
Because I did not take Brittany. Thank God my mom kept Brittany while I went to law school.
Right.
And like I said, that's another story because I could talk about postpartum depression,
Wow.
and I can talk about how many days of not sleeping
Mm.
and all the acupuncture and stuff to fall asleep because the moms would know when the baby is hungry, you instinctively know. So I did not have my daughter, but whenever she's hungry, I would know.
Oh, right.
So that's another story
Wow.
by
You,
itself.
yes.
Yes,
You gotta write that book. You
I
gotta write
am going to. I am going to write that book.
after,
Yes. Yeah.
So I remember when we first met. We met
Hmm.
because I came to interview you. You came to the studios for me to interview at just about that time or just before that time. I
Hmm.
remember there was this glorious write-up about you in
Yeah.
the newspapers
Mhm.
because it's like you were a star girl, still are a star girl. Remind us what that feature was about in the newspaper. And I remember you were involved in some project or something that was pretty outstanding at the time.
Ecom Online. You don't remember Pecom Online?
Yes, that
And
is right.
not
Tell us a
only
little bit
that,
about that. Yes, yes.
okay. So
Because
when I left,
it was your origination. You had
mhm,
created this. Yeah.
yes, I did. But guess what? It was before its time. It was before
Mm,
its time. So let me tell you, I was when I left law school, um, most people would go to the big firms. And in fact, I did get job offers with the big firms, and I started at Myers, Fletcher and Gordon.
right.
But then it was the law firm scenario was not me.
Mm,
So I left and I established my own business. That was not the norm. That
for
was
such a
not
young
the
woman. For
a
such a young woman.
woman, a woman, one, and two, for someone to just leave law school and actually set up their own business. That wasn't done. So
Yeah, unheard of.
unheard of, yes. And so I did that. I set up my own business and I opened my own law practice. And even my letterhead was different from everyone because I had color. I
Mm,
had color on my
dare you?
letterhead.
How dare you have color?
In those times, whenever you saw a letterhead for any law firm, it's black and white. But
Mm,
mine had blue and green.
mm, mm, mm,
Yeah. So I set up my own law practice then. And then while I did a lot of personal injury, because I also continued to work with UJI group of companies, I was still their legal officer. So I would still do their personal injury, fatal accident, and all those kinds of
mhm.
cases for them. And while doing that, I'm like, computers can help us to do more.
Yes.
So I ended up hiring someone. Um, I hired someone from Canada actually to come and help me. I told him exactly what I wanted, which was to create a website that will have all the cases that have been decided at the Supreme Court about fatal accident and personal injury.
Mm,
And I just thought there must be a way to search for these cases to help us to stop spending so much time in just flipping through books and trying to find the right cases in support of what we were doing. And so I told them what I wanted to create. And out of that came PCOM Online, Powell's Cases and Materials Online.
mhm,
And I launched this website, which had all the cases. That case, that kind of research was not anywhere in the Caribbean.
mm,
There was a research company in England, there was one in the US. Those were the only two places that I knew at that time and I launched PCOM Online back in 2023.
2023? Wow.
I still have this from
Amazing.
then. It's not 2023,
1993.
2003. 2003 or 2002. But it was
Yes.
just when the internet was coming out.
Mhm.
So most people at that time weren't really using technology to help them with legal research.
No.
So it was not very successful, unfortunately,
Novelty. It was
because
a novelty, right?
it was a novelty. So while it was good, and the people who used it, including myself and some of the judges, they loved it, but to maintain that website was way too costly.
Yes.
I had invested a lot to get it going, but to constantly be updating it with the latest material, latest information, was just way
It
too
was a
much for me.
it was a behemoth task, as
Yes,
they would
yes.
say.
And
Where?
I tried to keep it going. I kept it, I think, until 2007.
Mhm.
And then when I realized it just was not, the math was not mathing.
Math was not mathing again.
Exactly.
So math was not mathing again. Is there
So,
any service that is in existence now similar to that?
so the good thing about it now is the fact that the law
Court system and the
the
law offices are online.
they're online, and so while there is still nothing out there that is doing that,
Mhm.
the cases are now on the website for the Supreme Court, so they're a little bit easier to find now. But that particular brand and that particular formula and everything that I did still hasn't it's still not established. So now that the lawyers are open to it, that's one of the reasons why I have this, because someone came to me and was like, "D
Yeah, you need to get this going again.
again."
Yeah.
So maybe,
All right,
maybe
maybe.
for my retirement.
Hey, let's look at that.
Yes,
So let's go back to growing up in St. Elizabeth, one of the best
yes.
parishes in Jamaica, uh,
Mhm.
on par with Portland. Um, going to high
Of
school.
course.
What was high school like for you? What was primary school like for you? Because your dad, for instance, he was a reporter himself.
Yes. He
Mhm.
was a reporter. So he was a St. Elizabeth reporter at
Mm.
the time for RGR and
And what is
for
his name?
Horton Powell. And
Mm.
most people, he would write under the name H.H. Powell.
All right.
So H.H. Powell used to write
So
for the
writing
Gleaner.
was already in your blood.
Yes. But not only that, Totlin, my first poem was called The Beggar. I wrote that in grade 5.
Mm.
I wrote that in grade 5 at Santa Cruz All Age School.
Look at that. Was that
So
published anywhere? The pen,
pardon me?
was that published anywhere, like the Children's Zone or?
No, it wasn't published anywhere, Totlin. You know what? I got a 100% big tick for it,
Uh-huh.
and I taped it on my door, and my parents painted my room, and
And
the painter man tear off my poem. So the only thing I remember, so I wrote a poem about my first poem, and
Uh-huh.
I wrote a poem about how my heart broke with
Yes.
so I don't remember the exact words of that poem. I
Mhm.
only remember in went a few pennies, out blurt hurtful cries. That's the
Mm.
only line I remember from my grade 6.
Well, all right. It's in the ether somewhere, and
Yes.
your writing chops did not leave you. So that is very, very good.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
what I do realize about our authors who, we have these wonderful conversation, revealing conversations. with is that creativity will come out in any which way it desires, whether it is building a website
Mm-hmm.
or doing research or writing poetry or writing short stories. Your creativity will come out. It will beg to come out. So at high school, at all age school, you started your writing, and then in
Yes,
the house, your dad is a reporter, so you're accustomed to him going, observing, making note, and reporting for the larger media houses in Jamaica. So that was a part of your norm. That was a part
that
of,
was it. But
yes.
the other thing, Totlin, that the fascinating thing about it, because those days they he would handwrite his news
Mhm.
and send it in to the to RJR, because you know that's a long time ago from when I was a kid. So when it's reported in the newspaper, it's usually like almost a week after the event happened. So, and he would handwrite it, and they used to complain about how bad his handwriting was because he write worse than a doctor.
Mhm.
But I could read it. So he would say, "Can you please rewrite this for me?" Because he liked how I wrote at the time. So I would rewrite it. And then in rewriting his things, I saw the format, I saw how he expressed himself, and that's only because I was transcribing.
Okay, so you were a reporter's transcriber.
Exactly. And and then he bought it a typewriter. He bought a typewriter.
Mhm.
And then when he bought the typewriter, then I started typing his
Mhm.
things.
Right.
Yes, and I got very good on the typewriter, and
Wow. Look,
that's how it all started.
that is
Yes,
amazing because you came out now, and at law school, you also wrote law articles
I did.
for
Yes.
the law school journal.
Yes.
That
So I wrote I wrote an article about revealing the gender of the law by and looking at the Sexual Offences Act, which was revised way back when. So
Mhm.
that would have been in 1997 or
We're gone all
98.
the way back into the archives now.
Oh, I'm trying to remember all these dates. But it was when I was in law school that that article was published. Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
That is amazing because, you know, one of the reasons as I've shared with you, we do wire, right, is that I believe we have stories to tell.
Yes.
Sometimes when the stories come knocking, we may hesitate and think, oh, well, we can't publish a whole book. Yeah, but here we are writing hundreds and hundreds of articles
Yes.
for large publications,
Mm-hmm.
getting the kudos and recognition for them. But we
Mm-hmm.
still hold back on writing
Yes.
our stories
Mm-hmm.
because you still currently write for the Gleaner,
I do.
right? And
Yes.
you still write it in this Gleaner, and you write your articles every week, is it not?
Every week.
Every
Every
How
week.
long has this been going on? And when did you
I
start doing this?
I started writing for the Gleaner back in I think 2012.
Mhm.
So the immigration corner existed before that.
Mhm.
And there was someone else that was writing about Canada. And I had returned to Canada in 2008. And shortly after that, the person who was writing about the Canadian articles, she stopped. And it's one of I forget. Oh, it was someone who was working at the Gleaner who said to me, "Why don't you live in Canada and you're a lawyer there?
Mhm.
You do well at this." I'm
Right,
like, and I'm like, I never thought of that. She said, "Why not?"
right.
And I said, "Okay, I'll give it a try." I was a little bit hesitant at first. And so she sent me some of the questions that they were getting.
Mhm.
And then I realized, I can do this.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because I was practicing immigration at the time, and I can write. I
Yeah.
write my briefs, I write all the time. So I'm like, I can do this. So I have been writing for the Gleaner, I think from 2012,
Oh,
um,
yeah,
all
okay.
the way until now. Yes.
Oh, that is excellent because I know I've seen some of those articles
Yes.
myself, albeit online and so on.
Yeah.
Have you found that practicing law in Canada, how different is it practicing in law in Canada compared to practicing law in Jamaica, your home?
So the good thing is it's common law. So the foundational principles are the same.
Mhm.
The most significant difference is the time factor and how organized. So, so that is the difference.
Mhm.
But the foundational principles are the same. The procedures are very similar. And so that made it very easy for me to settle here in Canada because even though I had to do all the exams to be able to qualify to practice here, it was even setting up my own business. I did that here as soon as I came here. As soon as I was called to the bar here, I set up my own business here. And I
Right.
practice, so I have literally been practicing as a sole practitioner for about I practiced 22 years as a sole practitioner
Mhm.
um uh, out of the 25 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good for
So
you.
it was easy for me to transition because
Mhm.
basic principles and basic foundations are the same.
Mhm.
Um, I think because you have to have the guts
Yes.
because it's not easy. I
Mhm.
make it look easy because I don't let people know how many days I don't sleep.
Right.
Yeah. But the good thing is it can be done.
Yes,
And actually that's the motto of my all age school, Santa Cruz All Age School. It can be done.
can be done. Of
Yes.
course.
And Hampton, summa virtute et humanitate, with the utmost courage and courtesy. So those foundation from Jamaica, from rural Jamaica, is what has gotten me here.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I think that we need to really, I'm going to use a very hard word,
Mm.
enforce these days
Hmm.
mottos such as those because it's not happening.
Yeah.
And you find that our young people are easily swayed.
Hmm.
They're easy to give up.
Hmm.
They're easy to just, okay, I'm just going to fall into the abyss
Hmm.
because somehow developing metal and backbone doesn't seem to be something that is practiced on block, whether by family, church, schools any longer.
Hmm.
But that's another story. Oh,
That's another story. Yeah. Yes.
that's another story altogether. Do you find yourself serving people from the Caribbean, Jamaican community more as opposed to native Canadians, or is just across the board?
Everyone. Everyone. I serve everyone because um P I see myself, if you look at my logo is, you'll see the infinity sign going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have done over the years is that when someone comes to me as their lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
I am their lawyer. And most times they see me as their lawyer for life.
Yes, yes.
So even if it is something that they have, even if it is not something that I'm practicing, before they even choose another lawyer, they come to me and they say, can you recommend, they first come to me, will you help me with this?
Correct.
And if I say, I'm not practicing in this area, they say, can you recommend someone?
Right.
who can help me to do this.
Right.
So I have clients, even in Jamaica, who still call me.
Mhm.
I keep saying to them, I don't practice in Jamaica anymore. I'm strictly in Canada, and now I'm actually I don't have my private business anymore. So I'm saying to them, you need to find. They're like, can you please recommend someone?
Yes.
And I think it is because when they came to me initially, I made them feel welcome. I made them feel like they can talk to me about anything. And
Mm.
I know and because I did also estate planning, to do estate planning with a client, you have to know everything about their business.
Yes.
You
Yes.
have to know everything about their family. And
Yes.
so after they reveal all of this about themselves in their lives, then they feel like if they need to talk to someone about anything, they can come to me. And I always make myself available. And
Mm.
so, and so based on that, I had clients across the Caribbean. I have clients who are Canadian. I have Indigenous. I have European. It doesn't matter. And,
That must make for a very interesting, multifaceted, well-layered life. How do you balance it all? How do you
oh,
balance it all? And how do you now bring all of that experience to bear on your role as a grandmother and how it inspired you to even go further to penning this children's book?
children's book. All right. So, you did you see? Did
Yes,
you
I
share
see.
this and everything? So, what happened is, it's hard. It's hard to balance. But when I put my mind to something, Totlin, you know that.
Hmm.
When I put my mind to something, I don't stop until I get it the way I want it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what ended up happening is when I decided to write the book for my grandson, it all began with I was looking around for a book to give my grandson for his birthday. And I was looking for something. I wanted it to be a book of faith. I wanted something, all the Bible stories that I loved as a kid. I wanted to share this with him. So I went to the store and I looked on Amazon and I'm searching for that story that really spoke to me. And then something said, why is wasting time searching?
Hmm.
Why
Hmm.
don't you just write the book you want?
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. There
And
you
I just
go.
said, you know what? I wanted it to be a book that he could keep for life,
Hmm.
something that he can really see how much I love him,
Hmm.
something for him to know the Lord and grow in faith.
Hmm.
And so I wrote the book, and my own prayers from a kid are
Mm.
in it. And
So how you
Totlin,
found those prayers? You remember them or what?
of course.
Okay, okay. So
So Totlin,
I'm gonna ask you right now at this point to read the first part of the first few pages. That's like first
okay,
2 pages of
okay.
the book.
So, what I started the book with is I hadn't visited my grandson in the US, and he was 4 years old, and it was going to be his fourth birthday, and I hadn't visited him there. Hadn't seen him in a long time. And so I wanted him to remember the first visit. So I created in my mind an idea of what that first meeting would be like. And so the book started with A visit to remember. And I'm going to read the first few lines. Grandma lived far away in Canada. Aiden lived far away in the USA. For Aiden's birthday, Grandma decided to visit him. Aiden was so excited. He could hardly wait to go to the airport. When Grandma arrived, Aiden ran as fast as he could. He jumped into her arms, and Grandma hugged him tightly and gave him lots of kisses. Grandma, he said, blushing, not so many kisses. Grandma laughed and hugged him tightly. Then she turned to Brittany, her daughter, and pulled her into her arms in a warm embrace. Of course, Brittany's used to being the baby. Then she said, "Hello, Mom. I see you only came to see Aiden." Grandma laughed. "No, my darling, I came to give both of you lots of love." She hugged Brittany again, and they all laughed as they walked to the car. "Well, I don't mind relaxing while you drive," said Brittany with a smile. "Happy to do that," said Grandma. They all got in, and Grandma drove them home. That night, when Aiden got into bed, he smiled at Grandma. "Tell me a story, Grandma," he said. Grandma climbed into the bed beside him. She gave him a big hug. Then Grandma began singing. No, toddling. I don't like to sing, because my daughter doesn't like to hear me singing, but let me give a go at it. Tell me a story, tell me a story, tell me a story true. Tell me a story, tell me a story. I want to know God too. From that night, Grandma started a new tradition. Every night before bed, Aiden would read a Bible story and say a prayer before he went to sleep.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I love that. I love
And
that.
the prayers that I put in the book are prayers that I said as a child. And can I tell you, Totlin, even now, there are times I'm settling down to go to sleep, and I still find myself starting out with this by saying, as I go to sleep this night, gentle Savior, come and stay by my bed until morning light, and bring another happy day. Thanks to thee, my Lord and King. Amen.
Ah,
I still say that before I go on to do my more detailed prayer. But
yeah.
that's from a kid. I would start as I go to sleep this night.
So your
Gentle.
faith is powerfully,
Yes,
strongly a part of your life.
exactly. And I wanted to share this with my grandson.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share this with other people who probably, they don't know how to even start praying. And so this lays the foundation for a conversation with God,
Right.
inviting God to come and stay with you
Mhm.
as you go to sleep.
Of course.
So, yeah.
I'm
So
loving
that's
it.
that's how I started the book, and I just wanted him to have this, and I wanted to share even these prayers with other children.
How did he respond to this book when this book was published?
So, I think he's still too young.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I'm fighting with Mario. I am fighting with
yes,
Mario.
yes. Oh my goodness.
So, because I'm fighting with Mario and I'm fighting with all the other electronic things,
Yes.
that gave me another idea for book 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I have book two, but the format is slightly changed
Mm-hmm.
to take into account, his age and how to grab his attention. So I have a book too, and that is coming. I haven't put it out there or anything like that yet, but there is a book two to come, which I'm hoping as he gets older.
Yes, he will lean into. And like I said, the opportunities will come. The
Yes,
opportunities will come for you to be able to share this.
yes,
And it's good that you went as far as activating your faith and
yes,
at least putting it down in black and white because it's
yes,
always there. His I like the fact that you didn't change any of your names. You all
mhm,
used your names. So
yes,
that alone is of great interest. And of
yeah.
course, AI can also help you make a little story and a video story too. Yeah.
So I have been looking at some of the programs that are out there because I can't imagine how expensive it is to have an illustrator and to have this and that and that and that. Thank God for AI because, oh my goodness, when I was checking out those costs, I was,
Mhm. What
yeah.
you have to do is, I strongly believe,
Mhm,
in my heart that whatever we need to get done, we
mhm.
can get it done the best way possible with the resources we have.
Have,
Whether the
exactly.
resources is $1 or
Yes,
$2,
exactly.
but more on that anon.
Yes.
How difficult was it for you to get your book published? Did you go about self-publishing, looking for a publisher? How did it work for you?
So at first, I contacted a few publisher and I realized the process to do establish publishers, the usual names. It is quite the process, but I was anxious to make sure that um, it was ready and available for his birthday.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I started doing a lot of research online, and I discovered that I could do it on Amazon without having to put how many thousands upfront.
Right, right,
And it could be done in a shorter space of time.
correct.
So once I was able to, I did the PDF and I was talking with a few publishers and stuff, and then I realized, hold on. I've already formatted everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've already done everything. Let me log in to Amazon and see what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
And I logged in and I'm like, oh, this is doable. But I can tell you, I did not sleep for almost a whole month before Aiden's birthday because I kept editing and I kept uploading and it didn't upload properly. And you you try, you try and
Wow.
you try and you try until you get it done
Mm-hmm.
the way you want it to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
That is
So,
what you got to do. That's what you
yeah.
got to do. So the book is currently available on Amazon. Um,
Yes.
so folks, if you need to purchase a book, a storybook of faith with featuring a little boy and his grandma, then this is your book of today. And the
Yeah.
beauty about us writing these things down and actually going forth and publishing our books is that we don't leave the story untold or we don't leave the intent untouched. You
Mhm.
know, how does your faith serve? I know you're also a wife as well, that you
Yeah.
have to balance in your entire life. And I know you
Yeah.
have a love story that goes along with it. And what I like is the fact that you have a legacy, not only with your business as an attorney, but you also have this legacy of family.
Yes.
You have this, you grow through the experiences of motherhood and
Mhm.
being a businesswoman and now a grandma
Mhm.
and now a wife.
Yes.
Would you like to share a little bit about the love story that you have that one day Deidre is single and the next day Deidre is married.
So I've always focused on my business. I got married before, it didn't work. That's okay. I moved on and I was busy just taking care of my business because I've decided, okay, maybe my thing is business. So let me focus on what I know. So I was busy doing that. Then one of my friends went to Dubai and she met my husband at the time. Yeah, well, she met Ali. And when she met him, she was like, oh my goodness, you are perfect for my friend.
Whoa, matchmaker made in heaven. Wow.
She
Just like
said,
that.
she said that. She said, you're perfect for my friend. So she showed him my picture and he looked at it and he goes, that's my wife.
Are you serious?
And my friend said, I'm going to introduce you, but please don't say that to her.
Wow.
And he she introduced us. And honestly, Todd and I'm always doing a lot of things. And things just aligned that when she introduced us, it was when I was going on vacation.
Mm.
So I was going on a vacation to St. Lucia. That week, I went with a group of friends. And that week, everyone was like, where is Dee?
Mhm,
I was on vacation, which is good from my business.
mhm.
But the thing is, I was not hanging out with my friends. I was there and Skyping and Zooming and whatever in the
Yeah,
whole time, FaceTime, WhatsApp, whatever, the whole week.
_9 yards. Okay.
From we started communicating, it was nonstop.
Mm,
And Totland, we were on different time zones.
mm,
And the thing about it is we neither of us were sleeping at all.
mm.
We were not sleeping. So he was like, I think you need to visit because we were on computer.
Right.
And 1 month later, I flew to Dubai,
Wow.
and
The
that was
rest, as
that.
they say. History. Wow.
So, and the thing about it, he was in Dubai, I was in Canada, I am Jamaican, but he's Ugandan,
Hmm.
but he was working in Dubai.
Right.
And so I was back and forth. Even I was back and forth between Canada and Dubai. Back and forth.
So, what would you have to say to a lady who has the attitude of, no, I don't want to do no long distance, nothing, blah, blah,
No,
blah. How did you navigate the situation?
the thing is, we were so into each other.
That
And
was no barrier.
Totlin, one of the things that I treasure from our relationship, dating days and everything, I never went to bed. So we were different on different time zone. But no matter what, every night before I went to sleep, we would pray.
Mm.
And that was the foundation of our relationship.
Faith. So I
Faith.
love that. I love that story because you see, it feeds right into the writing
Exactly.
for leaving and creating that space of faith for
Yes.
your grandchild. That's quite a
Exactly.
legacy. And of
Yes.
course, for other children and other adults who
Yes.
will read those stories to them.
Yes.
So I'm so
And
thankful that you were able to share that with us
yeah.
because that makes a lot of difference.
Mhm. We absolutely never ever went to bed without praying.
Prayer. That is
And we not just prayed about our relationship, we prayed for our family. We prayed that our relationship will grow stronger and stronger. So when he came to Canada and we were with each other every day, we're so happy to be with each other. We stopped praying.
That's funny. Uh-huh.
That makes no sense. Does it, Tatlin? Does that even make sense?
You know what? You were living your prayers. That's what you were doing then.
So then, fine, we started getting into the busy life. We ended up being so busy because, Canada has a way of capturing your work. It's all about working here. And the thing is, when he just came to Canada, he did not get into the field that he wanted to initially. So
Mhm.
I am going to bed. When I'm coming in is when he's leaving, and
Right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so we weren't not. And then I had to say to him,
Yes.
we need to shake this up.
Hmm.
Our foundation is prayer,
Hmm.
and we have to remember that what made our relationship work
Yes.
was the prayer. And so we needed to get back to basics.
Yes. Hmm.
Because believe it or not, it's one thing when you're traveling back and forth and whatever. So we were in a constant state of honeymoon, basically, because you're traveling back and forth.
Hmm.
And but when we came together, that's when the different cultures started clashing.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when I'm upset, you hear the Jamaican patois.
Of course, the sentiment bit on Pato just come out and us lick a
No
one.
bother me.
You know, as old type people that say teeth and tongue must meet,
Must
you
meet.
know?
Yes.
And I'll
Yes.
never forget one that an older lady told me. She says, yes, yeah, man, teeth and tongue must meet, but you have to take time, walk and not mash it. You know,
Oh, I
you have to
like
take
that
time,
one.
walk and not mash it. Take time, walk and not mash it. Yeah.
Right.
You know
So
what?
we had to
Yeah,
get back
to
to our
that.
foundation, which was prayer and our faith.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the minute we did that,
Hmm.
I tell you, Totlin, I'm this kind of woman where if something not working, I leave it alone.
Big thing. Yes.
If it's not working and it is going to stress my peace and
Yes.
it's not working, then I will leave it and go. And we were on the verge of doing that.
Wow.
We were on the verge, and we met with a minister, and we started talking and praying,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's it. And that's what brought it back.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what brought
Yeah,
it
we
back.
have to mind our spiritual commitments and we have to mind our spiritual lives. It makes
Mhm.
a heck of a difference
Yes.
in most everything that we do.
Mhm.
And as we step forward, as we, move forward in life,
Mhm.
despite all the modern of modern life, despite
Mhm.
all the business of busy life,
Right.
is what we have to always keep front and center. Our
Yeah.
spiritual connections, our spiritual awareness, our spiritual life,
Yeah.
because I think that's where the true life always is. Deidre,
Yeah.
where can we get our books again? Grandma,
So
tell me
to
a
make
story.
it easy,
Yes,
it's deidrepowell.com.
yes,
DeidrePowell.com you can go there, or you can go on Amazon,
right.
and you can find Tell Me a Story, Grandma.
And let us see the copy of that book cover
So,
again so we know
um,
what we're looking for.
Totlin, you can tell that I self-published, did the design, and everything. But when it came to the hardcover, could I get the book, get the thing to wrap around properly to have
You
the
did.
same cover?
Look here.
So,
But that
so,
works too.
so
That
this
works
is
too.
the hardcover.
That
Th-
works. I love
Yes,
it.
I love the hardcover because it's sturdy and long
I love that.
lasting. So this is it, the
Oh, that's
hardcover, this is it.
beautiful. It
And
worked out.
and I also did an activity book.
You took so long to tell us about the activity book.
I am sorry because
Amazing.
after so what I did when I met with my grandson and I tried to get him to listen and focus and stuff, I realized maybe it's a little bit more
And how old is your
advanced.
grandson now?
He's 4.
Yeah, 4.
So yeah, so what I did was I did the activity book.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And you have the coloring and yeah. So I did
It
this
will get
as
better.
well.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing. I love it. We're going to drop the link here so that folks can get a copy or 2 or 3. Christmas is coming up. And,
Yes.
we know that we want people to know about our endeavors and we want people to know the options they have available. So
Yes.
always, always, always just check us out here. Why Right? You're going to learn about new books, new creative endeavors, and make sure that you check out Deirdre's book, deirdrepowell.com, and we're going to drop it in the comments so that you would know where to go to pick up your copy of Grandma Tell Me a Story, along with the activity book. I
Yes.
tell you, fantastic, fantastic work, Deirdre. We are looking forward to some other more interesting stories to come from you too. So,
Yes.
what are the few final words you'd like to share with us before we wrap for tonight?
So one of the things I want everyone out there to know is we all have a story. And the thing is, don't worry about perfecting anything. Just sit, write as it flows, as it comes to you.
Mhm.
And another thing, you may say, "Oh, I don't know what to write about." Write about anything, your life story. Right. For me, I even write about beauty around me, like the canola fields.
Mhm.
I have a poem about the canola fields here in Saskatchewan. I have a poem about Ottawa. I have a poem about a news article. I have a poem about coming home from a difficult case and the things that a client said, you know? So these little things, inspiration is all around you. You just need to just decide that you're going to do it
Yes.
and just grab a pen or a typewriter and just write it down.
Get it done. Get
Yes.
done. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Deirdre, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us about your life story, about your travels and your life journey that helps mold you to the point wherein you can self-publish this
Yes.
first children's book with this activity companion, along with the other books that you have in the wings waiting,
Yes.
stories about Aiden. That is amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. We are going to continue this conversation offline for sure because we
Yeah.
have lots to talk about. So,
Yeah.
Deidre, we wish you all the very best again. And remember, folks, you can get Tell Me, Grandma, Tell Me a Story on Amazon right now. Look for Deidre's name, Deidre S. Powell, and you'll find that book or log on to her website at deidrepowell.com.
DEI.
Right. D-I,
DEIDRE.
right. Not D-I-E, like I know some people know. No.
No,
Right? So,
DEI.
D-E-I. So thank you so much again, Deidre, for being on Why I Write and telling us why you write with faith, power, and dedication. Until
Thank you
next
so much.
time, my great friends on our Why in our Why All Right community, thank you so much for sharing with us. Walk good, have a great week, and we see you again next week for another amazing experience of why I write. Have a good